What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the weekly comic roundup here at Comic Drops, where we talk about and discuss some of the week's latest releases in the world of comics. Joining me again today, as always, is my good friend Andrew Lilly. How are you doing?
I'm great. Let's talk some comics here.
Yeah, it's been a while, but we have a lengthy list of books to talk about today.
Oh, yeah.
So, starting things off, we're probably going to have to go with It's tied for my favorite issue of the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Batman book, no surprise.
Oh.
But Detective Comics number 940 came out today. And so this one is continuing the cliffhanger at the end of last issue, which, spoiler alert, if you haven't read this one, it's kind of like crucial. But and so we have Red Robin, Tim Drake, dealing with the drone attacks, while Kate Kane, Batwoman, is confronting her father. And so we see that, and then it just... the issue really hits the emotional moment between Kate and her father, and then whenever we get Tim's interaction with the drones and what happens with him, that it just... I feel like we should talk about the spoilers with it.
We should.
Like,
a lot of the
okay.
book is spoiler. So.
Yeah, and so basically Tim survives the first fleet and is relatively okay after that. Like, he could recover, you know. But then there's a second fleet that's coming that just levels buildings. And so it comes in and, like, Tim says his goodbyes to Batman and Steph over the, like, comms and, like, signs out and then just gets shredded. And the emotion, like, the panels and pages after that, and then just Batman's reaction and Stephanie and then Batman and oh, dude. It hit me so hard.
Oh.
It was ridiculous, honestly.
This entire issue was just a big feels train. I mean... like you said with Kate Kane, how she felt so betrayed from her dad, the one person...
oh, yeah, she was so just angry with him.
Just the one person she had tried making proud her entire life. It just betrayed her, essentially. That part got me. And then the whole Tim Drake scene, I was just like, oh, man. Ooh.
Whenever it started happening, I had remembered, I had flashbacks to whenever the news had broke that DC was going to kill Tim Drake, and I was like, oh no, God no. But then...
yeah, and it was good. We'll save the ending. We won't spoil the ending.
Yeah, there's another twist.
There's a bigger twist.
Yeah.
That it's actually...
which I don't know how I feel about it as of right now.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I was initially I did not like it, but we'll see. I guess I'm open to wherever it goes, but yeah,
I felt like
it should have been saved.
Yeah, for a couple issues,
at the very least,
because it felt like all that emotion. I feel like maybe we should say spoilers here. We're not gonna spoil it, but it
minor spoilers.
It could kind
of deduce what happens.
Yeah, you could piece it together, but it kind of sort of just negates that all the emotion that just went in through the couple
yeah
of
I had just got done just having a breakdown, and then I was just kind of like, okay,
that happened,
all right,
okay.
But
yeah, I agree with you. They should have saved it for 2 or 3 issues later, but it was still an awesome issue. I loved it. This book has been it's been superb. It has
the entire run.
It's been my favorite Bat book of Rebirth. I just can't praise it enough.
It's just consistently delivered.
Absolutely, on every level too. From the storytelling to the art to just the characterizations of each member of the team, except for maybe Clayface. He could use a little more, but it's just...
I mean, yeah, but he's good when he's there.
But I don't hold that against it. But yeah, it's just, man, you need to read this book. Everyone
it's
needs
honestly
to read
a must read. If you're just a comic fan in general, it's so great.
It is, and I'm gonna echo you. I think this was also my favorite book of the week.
But moving on to a book that I have decided that I'm just gonna wait for the volume to come out if I do pick it up, honestly. But Green Lanterns number 6, right?
Yeah, number 6.
Okay, Green Lanterns number 6 came out today. How was that?
Yeah, you would probably be okay doing that. This book started off with so much promise, and it's just kind of gotten worse with each issue. Actually, last issue was actually really good. I was actually a little more optimistic after number 5, But today's issue was just disappointing. It ended
That sucks to hear,
abruptly.
honestly.
It did, and it had such a cool story. And I'm gonna spoil it because it happens halfway through the book. The Red Dawn arc is over, so the complaint about the fans is that Jessica kind of goes through the whole anxiety where she's not making the construct and she's just sort of not doing anything and her story is just kind of repeating. And I get those complaints. I have those complaints too, but it actually kind of makes sense, especially as a character who's suffering from anxiety. But finally, she's able to make a construct, and she can finally fight against the Red Lanterns. And I'm gonna spoil it. So if you guys are reading Green Lanterns and haven't caught up, I'm spoiling it. And it's like one page, and they destroy the Hell Tower with like no problem at all.
No struggle.
No struggle.
Battle.
It's like, are you kidding me?
That's such a like drawn out beginning to a story for such an abrupt ending.
It is, and then Atrocitus is just like, oh, the Hell Tower is destroyed. Let's leave Earth. And then they're just like, oh, the Red Lanterns have left Earth. Are you serious? This is how it's ending?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, well, at the end of it, they kind of showed that the Red Lantern story is probably not over. Actually, it's not over, which thankfully they had some sort of conclusion because I don't know. I mean, the characterizations between Jessica, or the dynamic between Jessica and Simon is really strong, and that's the highlight of the book, of this issue, and maybe of the entire series so far. But this plot has been such a disappointment. It's just the initial concept of it was so cool, and it
started off so strong.
It did, and it just failed. I'm really disappointed in it. The art, I think they had like 2 artists working on this issue. Rosha did only like 2 pages, maybe, which just kind of sucks because I love his art. So I'm definitely I'll stay with it, but it's not one of my more anticipated books anymore.
It's such a bummer,
it is,
honestly. And it dropped off my reading list because you'd been saying that it wasn't like that great, and so I wasn't very eager to get caught up.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to just tell you to pick it up because it's a great book, and I would have probably up until issue 3, and now I'm just like, don't even bother. There are other books. Pick up Hal Jordan if you want a Green Lantern book. Yeah, I mean, when I put the book down, my initial thought was, that's it? And that's not a good way to end an arc. So, unless it's like that's it? Oh, I really wanted more. But this one was just like
a disappointment.
Yeah, you just like, whatever. I knew this was coming. So.
But moving on to the other book, Lantern book that you had mentioned,
yes.
Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps came out. I don't know which issue this was.
Is this 4? I think.
Yeah, I think it was 4. But that came out today. And this one continued the story of how Jordan had been beaten at the end of the last one, and so he was supposed to be delivered to Sinestro, and then Guy Gardner had also been cornered, and so we were waiting to see what happened with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the opening of this one, Guy Gardner is presented to Sinestro, and then Hal Jordan has been taken by Sinestro's daughter. I don't know how to say her name.
Saranic?
Yes, her.
Yeah.
Saranic? Okay.
That's what I would
say.
Saranic now, too.
But he has been taken by her, and so the issue is kind of going through that and like what's happening in all the situations involving that. And so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of this one?
I love this book. I thought this issue was great. And the best part is that Ethan Van Sciver's back. So, and his art is amazing. Especially on,
it's spectacular.
Especially on a Lantern book. He's just, you have those artists who are just like born to draw certain types of books, and
the gigantic fear fist, incredible.
Yeah, and his Sinestro is awesome. I love his Sinestro. So like you said, it's kind of a slow burn. I guess some people would be a little bit impatient with it, but not me. I'm loving it. This whole
Yeah, honestly, like if you think about it, not much really happened
no,
throughout the course. But I mean,
so basically, Sinestro is trying to get Hal Jordan, who is the greatest Green Lantern, to put into this fear engine, and apparently it's supposed to power, or power their might or something. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. That it makes the Sinestro Corps more powerful. We'll put it at that, by extracting Hal Jordan's fears, and basically they said it like essentially makes him feel like he's living his worst nightmare or something, which is kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, and like you said, Hal Jordan was taken by Saranic, and I mean we knew this was coming because she had previous issues she already felt betrayed by how Sinestro essentially exploited her kindness to make the Sinestro Corps look more favorable in the eyes of the galaxy. Yeah, I'm loving this book. This is the Green Lantern book you should be reading. Yeah, I'm really interested. It's
a great new like Green Lantern versus Yellow Lantern book.
It just feels like a classic Green Lantern story. So yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a great issue.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to basically completely mirror what you said. It's the Green Lantern book that I picked up. So I mean, it's a great read, and it's really, the art, like you said, is just amazing. Like I'm going through it right now, and it's
just beautiful.
Yeah, it's spectacular. But and then the story, like you said, it's not so much that it's moving, like it's not moving too slow, but there's not like too much happening. It's just a lot of great like character moments and just great moments, but like it's a great Green Lantern book.
A slow but worthwhile build up. So
definitely.
Yeah.
But moving on to we're gonna jump over to the Marvel side of things really quick.
All right.
Uncanny Avengers, no idea what issue this is.
Let me look it up. I'm gonna take a guess and say it's like 12. Let me see. 14. Okay, so it was 2 off. All right, 14.
All right, so I did not pick this one up, unfortunately. But what's happening in that one, and what did you think of it?
So essentially, this takes place after the Ultron arc, which is a great story. You guys should pick it up. And basically, it's a Civil War II tie-in, but it's not really too much of a tie-in, except that basically a lot of the story revolves around that Bruce Banner has died, and spoilers here, the Hand is basically, they have an interest in Bruce Banner's body, and they're hoping to resurrect him to be a force for the Hand.
Oh man, that would be crazy.
Yeah, so you have that story going on one side, and then you have the mutants, because this Uncanny Avengers is a unity squad made up of humans, mutants, and Inhumans. And now, ever since Infinity happened, there's been this Terrigen cloud, which gives the Inhumans their powers, but it's poisonous to the mutants. It's been kind of it's been moving across the globe, and it's been essentially killing mutants, and no one's doing anything about it. So the mutants of the group are basically, they're trying to figure out, or they're trying to just like save themselves essentially, and they find out that the U.S. government has actually been has been secretly testing basically the Terrigen mists as a deterrent against mutants. So it kind of comes to a clash with Captain America and Cable, because they're supposed to be the heroes, and they're breaking into a U.S. Government base essentially and starting like another war. So
that's not good.
No, so it's a really good issue. I can't spoil too much, but it's shocking at the end of the issue, and I'm really excited to see where it goes from here, because it's just, I can't say it. I can't say it without spoiling it. So Yeah,
I mean, it sounds interesting. I wish I read more Marvel books, honestly.
Yeah.
I need to, and I should.
I would recommend this one. It has a really cool team. I just picked it up with the Ultron arc, and I'm really liking it. I'm really interested with the hand story, with Bruce Banner, and then this other story that I can't spoil, but pick it up if you can. It's a great story. Yeah, I'm really eager for the next issue.
I'll probably have to check it out. But anyways, moving along to another DC book. Suicide Squad #2 came out today, and that one was, I liked this one more than the Rebirth one and the issue 1 that we got. I thought it was way stronger. And so we get the squad basically recovering from the crash into the Arctic Ocean that happened in the last book. And they get onto this station they're supposed to be on, and it's them basically like fighting off the soldiers and going through that. And there's honestly, like, I had a really good time reading this book. There's the hallway sequence with Katana and Harley Quinn and Boomerang. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved that. And then, I don't know, I just thought it was really enjoyable, and the characters were great. And I laughed a couple times, and then, I don't know, I just had a good time reading it. And then the ending, I really loved the ending.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool, and I'm very much looking forward to, like, what comes next. But, yeah, I definitely overall, like, I'd recommend picking it up now. I'm glad that it's gotten, like, I hope that it would be better after the kind of, like, repetitive first couple of issues, and it definitely has, so.
Yeah, I agree with you. I had a fun time reading it. It's not a hard book to read. It's not a light book. It's just fun. And yeah, it's good. The art is great. The ending is really cool, but really shocking. I'm sure some fans will be a little upset, but yeah, I agree with you. I thought it was a really good issue.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, Jim Lee's art is amazing as always.
Absolutely.
But it's definitely worth picking up.
Yeah, especially if you like the movie. It's essentially the same team, so
yeah,
pick it up.
It's great. I liked it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. But moving right along, we'll continue with DC, and this book is the one that was tied for my favorite of the day. All-Star Batman #2 by Scott Snyder came out. And so do you want to talk about this one?
No, go for it.
Okay. So it follows Batman and Two-Face like on the road and picks up right where the other book left off, where they're on top of the train. And then, well, before that, I guess I should backtrack a little bit. We have Gordon and Harvey Bullock going to Bruce Wayne's house and kind of like going in, and so we're led to believe that Gordon now knows that Bruce is Batman and all that. And so he's going in there, and then we have the train sequence with Harvey and Bruce, and we get a fight scene, and there's a couple other characters that show up, which I thought was awesome. Honestly, all the appearances I really enjoyed. It's cool seeing Snyder write a super fun Batman book.
Yeah.
Which I think that this is. It's more like he's just like kind of letting go and like having fun with it, and it's really great to read, and I'm really enjoying it. It's still definitely a Snyder Batman book with his time jumps and just his storytelling methods, but I'm really enjoying it. And then John Romita Jr.'s art, which I normally don't like, I'm actually really, really liking in this book. For some reason, I just think it really, really fits Batman, and so I mean, I'm having a good time with it.
Yeah, I agree. I guess I never really thought of it that way, where you said it just seems like Scott's just having fun with Batman, because there were a few lines that I was just kind of like, that doesn't sound like Snyder's Batman. It kind of seems a little snarkier, I guess. But
yeah, he's just kind of like, he's let him loose, like he's outside of Gotham, and so
yeah, I guess
he's just let go.
I guess so, but yeah, I really like the train sequence with all those different characters. It's just crazy. But yeah, it was a good issue. I liked it. It's a interesting and different Batman story, but it's still really enjoyable.
I think it's a solid premise, and then also I liked the character backstory that he added in for Two-Face too. We got a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And more explanation on him and like his personality. And I liked what he's doing with that and the direction he's gone with that. And so
Yeah,
that's really cool.
agreed.
But yeah, I guess we'll jump back over to Marvel. There's one other book from them that I did not pick up, but another Uncanny book, Uncanny Inhumans issue. I'm not sure.
Whatever today's
Issue 11.
Whatever today's issue was.
Okay, that one came out today. So how is that?
It's good. It's another Civil War II tie-in. Basically, Black Bolt's brother Maximus is essentially trying to frame Medusa, and make it seem like she's trying to kill all these innocent people that work for Tony Stark. And so Captain Marvel comes with the Ultimates to try to talk to the Inhumans, just trying to figure out, what are you doing? Why are you here? And then there's a little fight goes down, which is kind of cool. So it's a really cool story, and so Medusa's basically trying to convince them that the Inhumans aren't responsible for trying to kill Iron Man's employees, essentially.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, and so New Atlan is essentially put into lockdown because they're kind of expecting some sort of counterattack. And then meanwhile, Maximus is snuck into New Atlan to basically sabotage it, because he's all about this, disorder, chaos. So yeah, it's a really good story. I don't want to go into too much. We still have a few books left.
It sounds like the Uncanny Marvel books are really good.
Yeah, they are. I love them. And especially this story, the tie-in to Civil War II has actually been really strong. So, and the art is good. Yeah, I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, moving back over to DC, a book which the first issue I was kind of on the fence about and I enjoyed it, but there's parts of it that kind of, I don't know how I feel, but Deathstroke #2 came out today, and I liked this one more than the first, but I think it's something about the way the story is framed. I'm not sure, I can't put my finger on it exactly, but something about it kind of throws me off, but I did enjoy reading this one a lot more than the first issue. And so I think that Deathstroke is really, there's not a lot of action in this book so far, but whenever Deathstroke does do something, it's very, prominent's not the right word for it, but you notice it. It's more of it's more impactful than just, a bunch of action thrown on the page, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, I like that, definitely. But, yeah, other than that, I just think it's a solid book. If you're a Deathstroke fan, you'll probably love it. But moving along to a DC book that I unfortunately didn't pick up, Superwoman #2. Right? Came out today. So how was that?
This series is really good. I like this issue. I know a lot of fans were kind of, well, here's spoilers because we can't really talk about it without them. But a lot of fans were a little shocked when Lois Lane, who was supposed to be Superwoman, when she died in the first issue. And so basically the book is about Lana Lang, and she's Superwoman, and it's actually really...
I did not know that, actually.
Oh, well, there's a...
I'm not planning on picking it up,
unfortunately.
I'll probably wait for the volume, but...
Sounds good. But yeah, it's a interesting story. They got attacked by these bizarro clones, I guess, of Superwoman.
There's so many of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of bizarre
super people clones.
Yeah, that and a lot of bizarros running around. But it's a really good story. The art is great. I know a lot of people probably jumped off and were complaining that it's not Lois Lane. I get that, but it's also the second issue. So, you can't go out calling it a terrible book when it's only been 2 issues. And
you got to give it a chance.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really good. It's really well written. So I don't believe anyone who says it's a terrible book, because I don't see it.
It may not be for you, but that doesn't mean that it's terrible.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
And
I think that's a distinction that people need to like start making more.
exactly.
Anyways,
Yeah.
mini rant.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really good book. Almost all of the super books are great at Rebirth right now. Actually, I'm gonna just say all of them are good. There's not like a disappointing one. So yeah, I recommend it. It's a new, different story, different character taking the reins of his superhero.
I've decided for a couple of the Rebirth books that I'm just gonna pick up the volumes, the first trades for him.
I'm like that too. I'm thinking that.
I'll probably do that for Superwoman.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you.
But moving right along, The Flash #6 came out today, and so we finally figured out it was revealed who Godspeed was. I won't spoil it for you, but
Oh, you can say it.
So I don't want to spoil it for the listeners, but I will say that it's kind of predictable who it was, but other than that, he's still honestly like he's brutal and he's awesome. I really love him as a villain. I'm disappointed that they keep on using speedsters, like only speedsters, as the Flash villain and like everything right now, but I think besides that, he's still like without that, he's still a great villain.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's just the book is Barry continuing the case on Godspeed and trying to figure it out, and beating himself up for it, and just follows that, and then it ends with the reveal of Godspeed and him kind of kicking the crap out of Barry again. But I mean, I'm really enjoying the book so far. I think the art is still, I really enjoy it, and I think it's really solid. And then I don't know, I think it's a solid Flash book right now. I don't think it's the best book on shelves, but I think it's worth reading, or at least worth picking up the trade whenever it comes out.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
But
yeah, I think this might be one of those I pick up the trade for. It was moving too slow for me, and
I can definitely see that. It's still a little, it's like next issue I feel like is definitely going to be it's really going to
start picking up.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
But moving along to Red Hood and the Outlaws #2 came out today.
Yep.
Which I loved the first two, the Rebirth one and #1. And so what did you think of this one, and what kind of happened in this one?
I loved it. This series is completely surprising me. It's basically, we see Artemis, and it's basically the two of them kind of clashing. He's still trying to conceal his identity with Black Mask, or trying to stay within his little inner circle, I guess. So they fight for a little bit, and then she wisens up. She knows that he's kind of a double agent, essentially, and it's a really fun story. I'm loving the book. He's trying to figure out what super weapon Black Mask has on this train, essentially, and
which the reveal was. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it.
I wasn't expecting it either.
That's a couple reveals today that we weren't expecting.
Yeah, and so it's really interesting. And man, I just have to talk about that art, because
the art is beautiful.
It is.
I love it.
So good. And didn't they just sign them to an exclusive contract?
I believe so.
I think they did, and that makes me...
The art it honestly complements the books and the tone of the story so well. It just looks so great as a Red Hood book, and that's one thing that I'm really, really happy about, that it's being focused as like a Red Hood book.
It is. It is, and definitely.
That is awesome, because he is so worthy of a solo book, and that's like kind of what this has been so far, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and I love the dynamic between Jason and Artemis. The way they bounce off one another is just perfect. I loved it. And just yeah, the art, the characters look so good. Like he finally draws Red Hood and his mask right. None of the stupid.
It looks perfect.
Yeah, none of the stupid mouth or nose being drawn in it. And Artemis looks awesome. She looks awesome. She's got that. She just looks like a badass.
Yeah, she's just a badass Amazon.
Yeah,
Like,
she is, and I really hope the quality of this book stays this way because it is surprisingly one of the best Rebirth books right now.
it's such a great Bat book. I'm honest. I'm so happy that all the Bat books are so
Yeah.
great right now.
Like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually like this more than like Nightwing. Like,
Really?
yeah, I'm really.
I need to read the latest issue of Nightwing. I haven't done that yet, which I'm hitting myself for.
Ooh.
But I've loved that so far. I don't know if I would have to choose. Oh.
Yeah, I've just been so blown away with how good this book is right now. And Nightwing's good. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a good series, but this one, maybe it's just because of how much it's surprising me. Plus the art.
Yeah, how little
Yeah.
expectations you had for it.
Yeah, and then the art just does it for me because it's beautiful. So
Yeah, it's. I'm looking through it. There's just so many gorgeous panels and spreads, and it's so great.
yeah,
But moving along to the last book of the day, which is a super book that I unfortunately have not picked up. I'm gonna be waiting for the trade on this one.
sounds good.
Action Comics, really, really large number. I don't know.
963.
963 came out today. So this is continuing this is going off the Lex and the Doomsday Story arc, right?
Nope, this is a new arc.
Okay.
This starts the whole who is Clark Kent, the new and mysterious Clark Kent who has been shown in Action Comics.
I feel like they should have started with that, and they had Doomsday for like 1.5 books maybe,
yeah,
and then delved in it because Doomsday's been used so much recently, and so we know, I don't know, but
yeah,
anyways, how was it?
Yeah, I actually liked it. I liked it more than the Doomsday story. Mostly because it's presenting a lot of questions, which is kind of cool. It's really focused. Basically, the entire issue is about this new Clark Kent. You don't really see Superman. You see Lex Luthor in there a little bit, and they're all just trying to figure out who is this guy and how did he get here, and especially when his identity was exposed back in the New 52. So I think it's good. I think it's going to present a really interesting story. I wouldn't say it's like an amazing story or an amazing start to a story. It's just kind of, it's good, I guess. It's intriguing enough.
It's moving on to the next story.
Yeah.
It's not anything astonishing yet.
Exactly, and it's just kind of refreshing because it's not the Doomsday story anymore.
That's very nice.
Yeah, because I know we were all pretty tired of that one.
We've got some Doomsday fatigue.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited to see it, to see more of it. Yeah, I think
That's great. That's all. It's one of the things you can ask for from a comic. Just looking forward to more.
yeah, exactly. And it's just
It does its job if it does that at least.
exactly, and like we said, it's not Doomsday anymore, so we don't have to worry about another repetitive issue. It's something new. I wouldn't say it's one of the most anticipated Superman stories I'm looking forward to, but it'll do, I guess. As long as I see more Lex Luthor, that's all I care
Yeah,
about.
I want them to do more with him. He's a really interesting character, especially with the direction that he's been taken recently.
Exactly. Which you might actually like Superwoman for, because he plays a big role in Superwoman.
Okay,
So.
that's another reason to pick that book up.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that just about wraps it up for all the books that we have today. Unless
Mhm.
I'm forgetting anything.
Nope.
I don't think so. Okay, so yeah, that is it. Pretty big list today, and I enjoyed all the books that I read today.
Same.
I thought they were really great. There was some that I absolutely loved, but yeah. So it was a good, solid week in comics. But I guess now we will shamelessly plug our social media. So where can people find you on the internet, Andrew?
I'm on Twitter @AnderWriter. Come on by and talk some comics.
Awesome. And you can find me on Twitter at APBatman with 2 T's. And yeah, just come by and talk Batman, comics, movies, whatever. But yeah, and be sure to always keep it locked to Comic Drops for the latest drops in superhero news and entertainment. Later.